I've had a couple of questions and comments regarding the display cases right behind me. These are my pride and joy. I spend a lot of time modifying and customizing them. Let's talk about them, and about what's inside them. It's a little bit awkward to get the cabinets all on camera at one time in their full glory, because obviously it's not a huge room. I've got desks and display stuff everywhere. So you're going to have to forgive the hand camera. It's going to be a little bit shaky, but I'll try to keep it to a minimum. These are 3 Detolf display cases bought from IKEA, about £40 each, on the bottom of which are some kitchen cabinet legs, about £20 each, to give them that professional raising off the floor. Inside I've had additional bars fitted. By default there are only 4 shelves inside the Detolf cabinet, and I had another 4 added to bring the shelf capacity to 8, because these Star Trek Starship models, they're not exactly tall. They'd look a bit stupid if they had this huge vacuous space above them. And of course the double density means double the model capacity. The shelves are just some cut plastic with diamond polished edges, and I ran some dust proofing brush seal around the cabinet edges to keep the dust out, which works almost 100%. It is quite incredible. And of course there's a pièce de la résistance, and a thing that makes the cabinets very expensive, at least initially, because I wasn't quite sure what I was doing at the beginning. These LED strips. The LED strips are driven by 2 power adapters, one going into a control box that goes to all 3 cabinets, and one that just powers literally just this cabinet. Because you get to a point where there's enough wattage going through and enough LEDs to power that you need to get a couple power sources. They can be controlled by this handy dandy little remote control. It has an effects box. You can make it go white. In fact, it has two different whites if you prefer a more bluish white. It can do all the colours that you might expect. Blue, green, pink, teal, white, another white, red, green, blue. The cabinet can also do RGB striping, expanded RGB striping, and alternate RGB striping. But that is only the cream of what this effects driver can do. It does all sorts of crazy patterns, and they can go in the opposite direction too. I can increase the speed to the point where it's just going to give you epilepsy. Yeah, don't do that. It has this nice warp core effect, which if you put at the lowest speed looks like a next generation warp core going down. That's why I picked the thing. And of course I can do it in the opposite direction as well. We've got sort of stripe going through, stripe going the other way. This fill up effect, where it just fills up and then changes colour. And of course opposite direction. And what they call the meteor effect, which really is for longer LED strips where it's going to be going around an area. So it sort of charges up and goes. It doesn't really work in the cabinet. And of course your classic flash effect, your classic jump, where it just jumps through the colours. But for the most part, I leave the LEDs either on white or on blue, doing the nice gentle warp core effect. And then if we increase warp speed, oh, we're going to warp. Warp, 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 whoa, too much, too much. Why are the LEDs so expensive, you might ask? Well, originally I was working from LED kits, which are about £50 a pop, which is quite expensive. I know now how to assemble the LEDs out of raw components and what have you, but I had no idea, especially with all this addressable nonsense. So I was originally spending quite a lot of money on just a little bit of strip. But there's also these see-through bars that run down the sides, giving them that 45-degree angle toward the models. So obviously without that, the lights are just going to shine wherever they please. Those plastic bar profiles are not cheap. It is surprisingly difficult to find triangular profile anything. Yeah, I tried dowel at one point. My original inception when I just had one cabinet, the LED bars hooked onto the shelves themselves. That didn't look very good. Didn't last very long either. But those are the fundamentals of the physicalities of the cabinets. I'd say each one probably costs about £150 to put together. Coming from that stock Detolf cabinet at about £40, that's a pretty big improvement. There's more mods in these cases than the case itself is worth. But that's not what you came for. You came to hear about what's inside them. Let's take a look.